Hi everyone, it's Stacy. Thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me and for joining me here again this week. Welcome to anyone new who's finding the videos for the first time. As you see, I don't have my chair set up today. That is on purpose. We're mostly going to be staying on our mats today. Last week, if you were here, we did quite an active warrior series. So I thought this week we could stretch it out and slow it down a little bit. So if you want to use any props, including a chair, by all means, of course, you can. Also, blocks, straps, pillows, bolsters, anything you do like to practice with are also welcome. I just don't cue with them too much because I'm never sure what people have in their home studios. We are going to start seated as always, so I'll meet you back on the mat and we'll get started. Okay, so let's make our way to our chair or on our mats and find a comfortable seated position. We will just cross our legs. They can be crossed in tightly, they can be nice and loose, easy seated pose, whatever feels good. We just want to root down in through the sit bones and try and find a tall spine, but we don't want to be too stiff. We're looking for softness, but with tall spines so that we can find some room for our breath to flow. So we'll settle in here. If this cross-legged is not comfortable, by all means, you can sit with legs out in front or even sit up on a block or rolling your mat or a towel up to elevate your hips a little bit will be a nice option for you as well. And once we settle in here, let's take a few of those breaths. That felt really good. Let's do another one like that. Take a big inhale here. Sigh it out. Let's do two more like that. And we can continue here with some deep breathing, maybe starting to breathe in and out through our nose, maybe closing the eyes if that feels okay, or if not, maybe just turning the gaze gently down, finding a nice still space that you can rest your gaze on in front of you. We'll check in with our hands. They can be resting on our laps with palms turned down or up. They can be crossed in our laps as well, or if it's more comfortable for you, over heart center or in prayer, even for the beginning breath work. Wherever you are, take another couple breaths to just check in. Notice where you're feeling the breath flow with ease and where you're feeling maybe it's getting stuck. Notice how deep or shallow the breath is. How fast or slow. Notice even the temperature of the breath as it flows in and out through your nose. Notice if your shoulders are still creeping up towards your ears, maybe giving them a couple of rolls as well. Just soften through the shoulders. And in the other direction. And maybe even just movement through the waist a little bit, wiggling the fingers and toes, loosening up gently, and then coming back to stillness. If creating a little mantra or a motto is part of your practice, go ahead and do that now as well. Perhaps this week it might be something like, I am going to slow down. It can be something as simple as, I am here, I am present. And repeating your motto or your mantra just quietly to yourselves for a few more rounds of breath here. Let's start by bringing a little bit of movement to the neck. We can start by tilting our left ear to left shoulder, Trying to keep the shoulder also reaching down. We don't want to reach it up. We want to try and create a bit more length here through the side neck. Take a few breaths here. And then back through center, inhale, exhale, other side. Notice the difference from one side to the other. One side might feel more stiff than the other, and that's okay. Just notice. Try to relax through shoulders. Take one more breath. Come on up through center. Let's maybe bow the chin down, stretch through the back of the neck a little bit. And then from here, we can come back up. Let's start to maybe just move the neck in semicircles. If it feels safe to you to go in full circles and looking up and back, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to. I'm just going to move from side to side. Enjoying this stretch down the side and back of the neck. Let's move a couple more times. And then the next time we tilt the chin down through center, we'll pause here and then inhale to come back up through center. Now to counter that and give a little bit of opening stretch to the front of the throat, maybe just tilting the chin up and back down. Let's do a couple more rounds like that. Again, if it felt safe to do circles and you're already stretched out the front of the throat, you can just stick with what you like or follow along here. Let's do one more. Coming back through center, good. All right, let's readjust our seated position. If you want to change the cross of the legs, go ahead and do that now. Otherwise, staying exactly as you are is great. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Let's clasp the fingers together and reach the palms up towards the ceiling. So flip the palms away from you. Shoulders are going to start to creep up to the ears. We're reaching, finding a big stretch and opening here. Take a big inhale to reach further. And then exhale, let's start to round through the spine and we'll draw the hands down in front of our body. We'll turn the palms towards the face. And imagine you're sort of pulling the palms away from you, stretching and rounding through the backside body. And when we're ready, let's inhale to reach up, finding a little bit of a arch in the back, lifting the heart space, lifting the throat, reaching the palms up towards the ceiling or the sky. Inhale here, and then exhale, let's round again, drawing the palms away from the face. And start to move with your breath. Inhale to reach up, reach, and then exhale, round. Good, let's do that a couple more times. The next time we're reaching up, let's reach up and see if we can exhale over to one side. Palms can face away, or if it gives you a little bit more stability, you can turn the palms back facing sort of the top of your head. If the arms are too long in general and the levers make it feel a little uncomfortable, you can always shorten the levers by bending the elbows, bringing the hands to the back of the head. Keep rooting and grounding down through this side body here. Stay for one more breath. And then we'll inhale through center. Exhale over to the other side. Remember, the arms can be reaching long here, or shorten those levers and bring the palms of the hands to behind the head. The arms get heavy when they're in this long lever position, no doubt. All right, Let's flow with our breath. Inhale here. Exhale. Stay rooted and grounded through the sit bones. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more time each side. Remember the arms, we can have them short. Open up through the front side body and exhale, side body. Good. Let's inhale through center and release the hands down or roll the shoulders. Shake it out. Okay, awesome. Let's move into our cat and cow on all fours. You can stay seated. We were doing cat-cow before, just opening up through front side body and rounding through the back side body, or we can flip over to all fours here. We'll start to get a bit of hip circles going and a bit more movement in the spine and hip area as well. We're feeling nice and strong through our shoulders and open through the side body. Take a big inhale here, drop the belly, pull the heart space through, look up, tilt the tailbone up. This is our inhale. Press the feet into the mat, press the hands into the mat. Exhale, start to press everything away, round through the spine. And then inhale to find that cow again. Exhale, round cat. Inhale, cow. Now, if other movements start to feel good, maybe you're exhaling here and you want to sway from side to side. Feeling a little bit of stretch down the side body. When you're in your cow, you may want to also sway from side to side a little bit. Other options here are to take an inhale through center, and then instead of rounding on the exhale, creating a C shape with the spine. So drawing your hip towards your shoulder and looking over the shoulder. And then inhaling through center and creating a C in the other direction. Draw that opposite hip to the shoulder. So lots of options. Also barrel rolls. So anything that feels good here. We want to get a lot of movement going in the spine. If you're going in circles, switch directions, do a few more rounds. And on your next inhale, we'll meet in neutral spine again. Reset, we want to make sure we've got our fingers spread wide on the mat. We're aligned in our arms with our wrists under our shoulders. We want to stack our knees under our hips here. So reset our tabletop, looking down towards the earth here. Let's do a bit of spinal balance. We've done a bit of stretch. Let's wake up, continue to wake up the core, engage through the core here. And then we're going to kick our left leg out behind us. Keep the toes grounded and just rock back and forth a little bit. Feel a nice stretch down the calves and even maybe the bottom of the foot and toes. Still pressing the floor away, still engaged through the core. Come on forward, pause, and then using the strength of our glute, let's lift the leg off the mat. Try to keep the hips parallel to the earth. We don't want to open up just now. So keep the hips parallel to the earth, staying here, or maybe taking an inhale or reaching our opposite arm forward. We find ourselves in our spinal balance. Take an inhale here and exhale. Let's lower down. Good. Take a couple rounds of cat-cow or barrel rolls or back and forth here before we go to the other side. All right, let's meet back in that neutral spine. Take an inhale, reset. This time kicking the right leg out behind us. Keep those toes on the mat. Keep the hips nice and parallel to the ground and just rock back and forth a little bit. Feel that nice stretch down the calf on the other leg. Good, let's come through center, pause, using the strength of the glute, lift that leg off the mat, keep the hips parallel, core is engaged, and stay here, or lift opposite arm off the mat. We're in our spinal balance. Take an inhale, And an exhale, stay. Inhale. And then exhale, lower. Good. Let's flow with our breath a little bit. So let's kick that left leg out. Right arm lifts. If we're lifting the arm, inhale. And exhale. Switching sides. Inhale. And exhale. Good. I'm kicking my plant. Poor little plant. Switching sides. Inhale. And exhale. Let's inhale. A couple more on each side here. Really feeling a bit of heat building. Last one. Lower down. Good. Let's sit the hips all the way back. We'll come into a child's pose. Child's pose, we can open the knees up nice and wide, make room for the belly and heart center, and we can melt down to the mat, lower the forehead, breathe into the backside body. From here, let's just lift the forehead a little bit, and we're going to walk our hands all the way off the mat over to the left and see if we can sweep that right arm across and plant it on top of the left hand, and then lower back down. Hips are still drawing to the right as the hands reach to the left. Find a big side stretch. All right, let's lift the forehead. We'll walk through center and then all the way to the right. This time we'll see if that left hand can sweep across, plant it on top of the right. The left hip is still nice and heavy, and we lower back down, big side stretch, left side body. All right, let's lift that forehead. Let's walk through center here, and we'll pull ourselves back up through tabletop. Good, we're gonna flow through another little sequence in our cat-cow, in our tabletop. So let's come back to tabletop, spread the fingers, press the hands away. Awesome. This time we're gonna lift our left foot up, but keep a bend in the knee. So it's like we're trying to step our foot onto the ceiling here. And we can stay here, we'll feel the strength of the glutes, or we can start to draw some circles with the knee, getting a bit of opening and heat building in the hips. And maybe switching directions. Good, let's come back, stamp that foot on the ceiling. We might want to stay here, or maybe we want to see if we can lift the opposite arm, reach it behind to grab onto the foot and kick that foot into our hand. And we'll create a bit of a stretch into the quad, as well as an opening through the front side body, through the heart space here. This is optional. Maybe stay with the circles if this isn't in the practice today. Stay for 3, 2, and 1. Let's release. Don't slingshot it, with a bit of control. Lower down. Awesome. Okay, do a few rounds of cat-cow, or maybe circle through the hips. Release out the low back a little bit. And then we'll meet back in our tabletop position. We'll go to the other side. So reset, press into the hands, press the mat away. Nice strong core. Let's lift that right foot off the mat. Stamp that right foot on the ceiling. Core is engaged. And then we'll draw some circles with our right knee. Nice big circles, as big or as wide as feels okay for your body. And then we'll switch directions here. Keep checking in, press the mat away, strong core. Feel that glute working, building a bit of heat. And then we'll pause here, stamp that foot back on the ceiling, and we can either stay with the circles or stay here, or maybe reach that opposite arm all the way back, grasping onto the opposite foot here. Kick that foot into the palm, and then try to square off the heart center. So we feel a nice opening through the front side body, as well as that stretch down the front of the back leg. Down the front of the back leg, yes. All right. Let's stay for 3, 2, and 1. Don't slingshot that foot, with a bit of control. Release. Good. Here again, a couple more rounds of our cat-cow or our hip circles or barrel rolls as well. Any option. I'm doing a little bit of all of those things, it seems. All right. Let's sit back in child's pose again, just for a breather, just for a moment. Reach the hands forward, lower the forehead. Maybe circling the wrists a little bit. We've been on our wrists quite a bit. And then when we're ready, let's lift the forehead and come on up to seated. So we can walk our hands back towards our knees. We'll be seated on our shins. Now let's turn to face you. If this is not comfortable, seated down on the shins, you can walk the feet out from underneath you, or elevate yourself if you do have a block or a pillow. Might be nice to slide that underneath and just give a little bit of relief to the pressure on the knees that you might be feeling. This is my favorite. If you do have a block, I highly suggest it. I feel like I could sit here all day in this position. I'm sure I can't. I'm sure at some point my body would say that's too much. All right, so let's get a comfortable position going for our knees. And if none of those options work for you, by all means, just find a comfortable seat on your sit bones. Just maybe how we started. We're going to just open up through the front side body with a bit of a modified camel pose. So here's how it looks from the front, but I'm just going to turn back to the side so that we can see where we're trying to get into. So you might want to stay here. This might be enough. You may want to lean back, planting the hands on the mat behind you, and just opening up through the heart center here. Another option, if that mat feels too far away, is of course to have blocks behind you. That is a nice option as well. Just again, not sure how many blocks people have. So maybe just leaning back, press the mat away, open up through the front side body here. Take a couple breaths in camel. Don't let the head fall back too much. Pretend you have a little piece of fruit underneath the chin. Keep opening up through the front side body. Then we're going to use our strength to come on up. So let's lift the head if it's back, lift the torso, use the strength of your core to come all the way back up to seated. And I'll turn to face you once again. We'll do maybe one more round of our camel here. Option, of course, to have the blocks behind you if you have them. Let's lean on back, open up, and stay for a few breaths. Two more breaths here. And then with our core strength, let's press into the floor, use the core strength to come all the way back up. Awesome. Let's roll the shoulders, shake it out. Let's continue seated on our shins here if it feels comfortable. And I'll just stretch out the backside body and a little bit of the shoulders as well. So let's bring our hands up in front. We're going to sweep our right hand underneath left, and we might just reach back and give ourselves a hug by grabbing onto our shoulders. We could stay here, or of course, maybe even round down a bit, whatever feels best. or taking it a little further, coming into our eagle arms. In our eagle arms, we can lift the elbows, pull the hands away from our face, we can stay lifted, or we can also round down with eagle arms. So choosing an option that feels right for you, trying to create space and opening through the backside body after that big heart opener. Either in eagle arms or holding on to shoulders, giving ourselves a hug for 2 and 1. Let's come on up. Great, open up. Roll the shoulders, and then we'll go to the other side. Let's bring our hands up, chest height. Sweep the left arm underneath, and this time choosing again, grabbing onto shoulders or coming into the eagle arms and staying upright if this feels best, or bowing down, rounding through the spine and staying here for a few rounds of breath. Two more breaths. And come on up. Let's open up the arms, release, shake it all out. Okay, let's get off of our knees here. Come on around to seated on your sit bones again. Or we're gonna go into our, we can go into pigeon or seated pigeon or reclined pigeon or deer pose. I just wanna offer this deer pose. It's a little gentler. I find it a little gentler. And we've been kind of moving through some nice gentle stretches. So if you prefer pigeon or lying down pigeon, so creating figure 4, if you know that's what your body's needing, go ahead and do that. If you want to come into a little bit of a gentler version of it, we're going to sit on the side here of our one hip, our left hip, and create 2 90-degree angles with our knees. So we're just, a bit more open type of a pigeon. And then we are going to start to turn towards our left leg and crawl down. And again, we're going to go as far as feels comfortable. Maybe we're staying up nice and high today. That might feel like enough stretch. Maybe we're going to come down onto our forearms or a block, or maybe we're going to come all the way down to our forehead and relax here. So again, this is a version of pigeon, just a little bit gentler, I find, a little bit easier on the body. Same nice deep stretch in the left hip. Stay for 3. Trying to slow the breath down for 2. And 1. And when we're ready, let's lift the forehead. We'll come up off the ground, the forearms, and walk ourselves all the way up. We're going to go to the other side. Just as we lean back, though, we'll windshield wiper the legs a little bit. And then we'll let the knees fall to the right, press ourselves up. I need to scooch back a little bit, make sure you have a room here so you can melt down. So we're going to create our 2 90 degrees with our knees here. Turn towards our right knee this time and start to walk down. So again, as far as we need. Settling in here, notice the nice stretch down the right hip this time and stay for 3 deep breaths. Last one here. Let's lift our forehead. We'll walk ourselves all the way back up. Awesome. Let's lean back one more time here. Windshield wiper the knees. I'm just going to start to turn to the side here. I'm still going to windshield wiper the knees a bit. And then we'll make our way down to our backs. Now you can hold on to a leg as a lever. You can walk yourselves down using your hands, or you can use your core strength to roll all the way down. When we get down to the ground, let's draw the knees in towards our chest. We can rock side to side, or maybe draw some circles here. Another nice option to really get into the low back is if we want to lift the legs straight up towards the ceiling. It'll feel nice to unbend the knees as well, maybe. Just let them be soft, but up towards the ceiling. Glue them together and you can draw some circles on the ceiling with the soles of the feet. You'll notice it feels a little different. It's just a little bit of a different way to get into a little bit of a low back massage and the tops of those glutes as well. All right, let's continue with our circles for another couple circles here. And whether your legs are bent or straight, we're just going to change the positioning and come into a happy baby. So if the knees are drawn in, let's open them up, draw them out towards the armpits, and we can reach either behind our thighs, a nice easy sort of happy baby frog pose, or we can reach the feet up towards the ceiling, grabbing for the calves, ankles, or soles of the feet, and then drawing the knees down towards the side body, down and out towards the armpits. It's a bit of a vulnerable position, I know, but hopefully, given that we're in our personal private yoga practice spaces, this is a nice opportunity to explore happy baby. Happy baby, you can stay in stillness. Option to rock side to side if you're still wanting to massage out that back. Or option for a bit more stretching is to straighten one leg and then bring it in and then the other. A nice little inner thigh stretch, back of the leg stretch. So one or all of those versions of happy baby here. Moving with your breath, finding a couple more breaths here. And if you're moving, we'll come through center, find a bit of stillness. Good. From here, let's start to draw the soles of the feet together. We'll just let the feet fall down to the mat, and then we'll let the knees fall open. Another big open, vulnerable position, our reclined butterfly. So knees splaying open, hands can rest on belly and heart center. They can come down by your side, or maybe even creating a diamond shape over top of your head. If it feels like a little bit much, you can reposition the feet to make the diamond of your legs bigger or smaller. And once again, if you do have blocks, you may want to put them under the legs for some support. Let's just see if it feels okay to close our practice in a big, open, vulnerable position like this. If it doesn't, no problem. Stay for a few breaths and then move into a traditional Shavasana, straightening the legs, bringing the hands down by your side. Regardless of what posture you end your practice in, start to scan your bodies and just notice if there are any areas you're still holding on to any tension. And breathe a little loving kindness that way. Shavasana is the time for our physical and energetic bodies to absorb all that good work we just did and turn it into something magical. It's a time for integration and rest. And know that rest is different from sleep and that we need both every day. And we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing. And the beauty of practicing through the camera lens, of course, is that you can stay in Shavasana for as long as your body wants or needs. You can just press pause or let the video play out. Or if you're ready to bring some movement back into your body, start to wiggle through fingers and toes, circle wrists and ankles. Maybe stretch long or curl into a little ball one last time, just before rolling over to one side and making your way up to a comfortable seated position, where we can all bring our hands to our laps, rest them over heart center, or bring them into prayer if you're comfortable with prayer. And we will end our practice with a big inhale. Let's take a big inhale here. Exhale. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide in your yogi practice today, and for allowing me to come into your personal private yoga practice space as well. It is my honor and my privilege, and I hope to see you here again next week. Until then, take care. Thanks everyone for joining me once again through the video lens. I hope that a nice calming practice is exactly what you needed today, and I hope to see you here again next week. Until then, take care. Good night.